Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report. So let's look for proper trading occasions on the market right now. We have few interesting movements. Well, first of all, dollar is gaining strength again, so we're continuing the movements that we saw in the market on Thursday and Friday. On Monday we had a small correction, but on Tuesday and today we are back on track with the strength of the American dollar. What is more, we had interesting situation on New Zealand dollar, where as you can see overnight we had the interest rate decision. Those rates remained unchanged, but from the statement, Reserve Bank of New Zealand is giving us hints that the next move will be rate cut. And this is dovish, this is negative for the New Zealand dollar, and New Zealand dollar is getting hammered right now. Apart from this, we had a speech from Mario Draghi, same old, nothing new, so economy is slowing down, etc., etc. Still to come, we will have vote in UK Parliament on Brexit. This will be important. So, with that being said, we can move to the charts right now, and as you can see, we start with euro dollar, where I do have a short position open. So after our daily analytical report from yesterday, I opened a position here, which is already on nice profit. As you can see, stop loss was here 1,000 euros, slightly more than 1% of my capital. What I can do now is I will show you what I do in my strategy. So the take profit is on 57 pips, right? Today we made already 65. Now we are making 40 pips. So we made over 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. When I have 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, I move my stop loss to the break-even point. But I will not move my stop loss to the break-even point. I will put it slightly above the highs from Monday. This is 19 pips. Let's make it 21 pips because of the spread. Also, spread is around 1 pip. So you can see that I'm taking into the consideration the spread, because the short position will be closed by the ask price, so the higher price here. Now stop loss is on 370 euros, which is less than 0.5% of my capital. So the risk is almost entirely taken out from this trade. Let's see where it will go. I could have moved. I would be able to move my stop loss to the break-even point, but I'm not going to do this now. The situation is still bearish. Today we do have a bounce attempt. Okay, fair enough. If it will continue like this, I'll have to close my position because that will be hammer. But I'm keeping my position for now. Maybe price making new daily highs today will force me to close my position, to move my stop loss to the break-even point, but now I'm leaving this as it is. Next position I do have on American dollar to Japanese yen, and I think I will explain it a little bit more here in a greater detail. So what we are having on the American dollar was breakout from the flag, lower line of the flag and the lower line of the symmetric triangle, and the price went lower, bounced from the support, then broke the support again, tested that as a resistance. That was very negative. We had a proper legitimate sell signal. After this, the price created a rectangle which is moving sideways, as every rectangle, and the more probable was the breakout to the downside, because that's what the trend was. but the price did not break to the downside. Instead of this, the price broke to the upside slightly after our daily analytical report. Fair enough. If the price does not want to go down, it will go up. That's a failed rectangle because it did not result with the breakout to the downside, so I opened a long position. That's a very important feature of a trader, that you should not stick to one position. You should be open-minded and read what the price is telling you. Here the price told me that they don't want to go down. Instead of this, they will go up. This is why I opened the long position. Because failed pattern is a signal to open a position. And here again, a stop loss is on. That's a very small stop loss on 35 pips. In the meantime, today we made 37 pips, so it's 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And here I will move to the break-even point with my stop loss. Break even slightly above the entry, and you can see that my trade is now fully protected. I should not lose money on this. I totally removed any risk from this trade, and I think that we should go higher. Well, that is a false breakout below the ultimate support, and from this point the price should continue to go higher. Next one is DAX. Well, you need to know that American dollar to Japanese yen is correlated with stocks. So here we do have with indexes. So here we do have had a slight rectangle below the support and a comeback. On the American dollar to Japanese yen, slight rectangle below the support and a comeback. So, and this is what is happening here on DAX. As long as the price was below the orange area, we had a sell signal, but the price came back above the orange area. Sell signal got cancelled, and the thing is that as long as we stay above the orange area, the sentiment for the buyers is positive. Now Australian dollar to American dollar. We have this line, we have this line. Although the second one is more accurate, I don't like the fact that it begins in the middle of the formation. I would prefer this low. But anyways, what is happening here on the Australian dollar to American dollar? We had a decline. Australian dollar is correlated with New Zealand dollar. It goes all the way around, like Australian dollar is more influencing New Zealand dollar than New Zealand dollar the Australian dollar, but still we had a reaction here. What the price is drawing now is quite beautiful head and shoulder pattern. So left shoulder, head and right shoulder, a breakout of those two supports, and this horizontal one, this yellow one, should bring us a strong sell signal. So this is my view on Australian dollar to the American dollar. Bitcoin, let's check the Bitcoin, which was in a symmetric triangle pattern with a strong sell signal. You can see that today overnight we had a strong reversal. Why is it important? It is important because of the fact that we are on a significant resistance. So a combination of the upper line of the symmetric triangle and the long-term downtrend line. Price closing a day above this area will be a super strong, significant buy signal. Let's create a resistance. I think this is the area which we are talking about. So price closing a day above the red horizontal resistance will be a strong buy signal for the Bitcoin. Dollar index recovering. Dollar index is still in this ascending triangle pattern, so horizontal resistance and a dynamic support. This is what is happening here, horizontal support as well. So price defended those two lines of the ascending triangle, those two supports of the ascending triangle. That is what we are talking about on Thursday after the FOMC report, that the dollar is still safe as long as we are above those two supports, and this is what is happening. Australian dollar to Swiss franc reversed, bounce from the super important dynamic resistance here, which only proves the significance of this resistance and creates an occasion once we'll have a breakout here. So price closing a day above the dynamic resistance will be a super strong buy signal. We are back again in this formation above the support, below the resistance. So when we are between, there is no trading signal. We tried the breakout to the downside, which was false breakout. False breakouts usually trigger a strong movement in the opposite direction. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 candles. H4 candles, and one of them only is bearish, slightly bearish, because that's a doji. So strong upswing after the false breakout was established, but they met resistance, they made nice returns. So now time for a small reversal. Let's adjust this more accurate to this line, this line, this line. This line is a bit short, but still. Euro to Russian ruble is getting ready for a small reversal, for a small correction, which will be a good occasion to open new short positions, I guess, for the sellers, because short position is does look better right now. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar. Yesterday I told you that there is a very nice technical buy signal, because it was. We broke the long-term resistance here, horizontal resistance, dynamic resistance, but the fundamentals came like this, and we got a downswing. What is that? That is false breakout, and for the past 13 minutes, actually much longer than that, for past, I didn't want to click on this, I'm sorry. Luckily I didn't open this position. So for the past few months, I'm telling you that the false breakouts are very good signals in the opposite direction, to trade in the opposite direction, right? So there is an occasion here to, just let me change the color, I think this one will be better. Yes, from this we should see the further drop. Maybe a small correction, but in general that changes the long-term situation on this instrument. You'll see how the weekly candle will look like, but as for now it's an engulfing. An engulfing should bring us a strong sell signal. American dollar to Canadian dollar. Here we do have long-term positive situation. Price is now undergoing a small bearish correction, but it's nothing. We should continue. We should see the continuation of the bullish sentiment here. American dollar to Russian ruble. Here we do have this. We are about to test the broken support as a closest resistance, and this will be a good occasion to sell if you believe in a further downswing. And you can believe in a further downswing if you're a technical analyst, because breakout of the support is crucial and sets the bearish tone. And this comeback will be just a natural technical comeback, so a broken support will be tested as a resistance. And from this we should see the continuation of the drop. Now crude avoided bigger correction because they defended this horizontal support, made new highs recently, so the sentiment is still positive. I think we can slowly create something like the channel up formation, which will be the crucial formation for this instrument right now. So those who play in range can bet on the bounces from the upper line, those who or the bounces from the lower line, and those who wait for the bigger movements can wait for the breakout of the lower line of the channel up formation. Cable is not bothered. British pound is not bothered. Maybe it will be bothered today after the vote. We will see. As for now, boring sideways trend. Not much is happening. Short-term horizontal support, long-term dynamic resistance, long-term dynamic support, long-term horizontal resistance, long-term horizontal support. We are between this. We will see if the pound will react at all on those news from the parliament. Now American dollar to this is S&P 500. Situation quite similar to this one on DAX. So breakout of the horizontal support, the price comes back above, defense support, resistance support. Fair enough, now we are higher. We had nice divergence here, but the price is not following this. Well, was here, but now we do have a correction. In theory, we should see the further drop, but look what the price is doing. The price is doing new, constantly making higher highs and higher lows. This is higher low. After higher low, what we should see is the higher high, because that's how the trend is made. That's how the trend proceeds. Well, long story short, as long as we stay above the orange area, the sentiment is rather positive on this instrument. So let me recap the situation for you again. Euro dollar negative. On euro dollar, we should soon meet the horizontal support. Here we had a small upswing caused by the words from Mario Draghi, which actually didn't say anything super interesting. I do have a position here. I doubled down the risk, so I cut the risk in half. I was risking 750 euros. I'm risking like now 370, which is nothing. Position is on profit, so I'm looking for bigger profits. Australian dollar to Japanese yen, that is a positive situation here. There is a buy signal on the American dollar to Japanese yen, where I also do have a position. My position is already on the break-even point. German index came back above, DAX came back above the horizontal support, is still above this horizontal support, and the price being above this horizontal support sets the positive sentiment for this instrument. Australian dollar to American dollar, here is had a shoulder formation breakout. Price getting to the green X will give us a strong sell signal. Bitcoin price breaking those resistances, closing a day here will give us a super strong buy signal. Dollar index, that is positive still. Australian dollar to Swiss franc, price closing above this dynamic red resistance buy signal. Price closing day above this red support sell signal, but watch out for the false breakout like the previous time. Euro to ruble is getting ready for a bullish correction, but the long-term sentiment is still negative. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar possibly can have super strong long-term sell signal. American dollar to Canadian dollar is still in a positive territory. American dollar to Russian ruble short-term buy, long-term still sell. Crude oil still positive in the channel up formation. Cable waiting for important developments from the UK Parliament. We are waiting for the vote today, and we will see if that will be able to cause the movement on the pound, because pound is motionless right now, stuck in a sideways trend. And S&P 500, as long as we stay above the orange support, and actually as long as we make constant higher highs and high lows, we do have a positive sentiment on this instrument. So guys, thanks very much for watching daily analytical report. I hope you enjoyed this, and now we should break, and after that we'll have an educational webinar, so make sure you will attend the second session as well. Thanks very much guys, and good luck in trading.